I have a rant. So if you're not in the mood, I get it. But if you're in the mood, it involves life insurance and death certificates. Okay, step back in time with me. It's 1995, and my parents' accountant, because my dad had his own business, so he had an accountant deal with all that stuff. She suggested to my parents that they get a life insurance policy for me. It was a fairly new concept. We're going back to 95. And at that time, at least in my parents' circle, parents were not taking out life insurance policies for their kids. Why would they? The child is young, but it's for one of those God forbid scenarios. So they did. They took out a life insurance policy on me from Global Life Insurance. It was $10 a month for $2,000. And they paid it religiously. It used to come in like a little booklet that they would mail away until it became auto bill pay decades later. And even through teenhood, adulthood, my parents kept that policy. And even when I got married, they kept the policy. Now, fast forward to my adulthood. When my husband and I found out we were expecting our first child, we decided to get life insurance policies for ourselves. We did our thing, got a policy, and my parents still kept it. And they said, hey, if something were to happen, it's just some extra. And, it was just never thought about. It was $10 a month. My folks paid it. Half the time I forgot they had the policy. I'm pretty sure half the time they forgot they had the policy, unless they looked at their bank statement. Now, when my dad passed in 2019, the policy was in his name. My mom was like a secondary beneficiary, but the bill was sent to my dad's name. My dad was the primary recipient should something happen. And we had to change that, and we successfully changed it. I don't know how, in retrospect, that went smoothly, but what's to come did not go smoothly. My mom became the primary beneficiary, but it was still getting mailed in my dad's name. It's just the first of many confusing things. So mom's the beneficiary, but it's still being sent under my dad's name, the bills. And then when my mom was going through just everything a couple months after my dad died, she was like, you know what? I think I'm going to cancel your life insurance policy. You have one, free up $10 a month. And I said, absolutely, go for it. So she called and said, how do I, I don't want this policy anymore. It's not necessary. And they said, no problem. But since the account is in your late husband's name, we need his death certificate in order to go through with the cancellation, because he's not here to give his consent to the cancellation, and we need to prove why. Okay, sure, no problem. They sent a form in the mail for us to fill out. We Xeroxed his death certificate, sent it off. Heard nothing for quite a while. My mom called again and said, hey, haven't heard from you, and it's still, pulling money from my bank. Why isn't this canceled? Well, you have to send a death certificate. Yeah, we did that. Oh, gosh, I'm sorry. We don't have it. Can you send it again? Mind you, I'm handling the sending because my mom didn't want to look at the death certificate or deal with the paperwork, which I totally understand. Everybody grieves different. So, sent it off for a second time. Mind you, we're in 2019. This is all happening in 2019, 2020, because he passed in October. So we'll say 2020. And I know a lot happened in 2020, but businesses still got to step up their game. Anyway, a month or two went by. It's still pulling from my mom's bank account. So around this time, we are moving to the house we currently live in, selling our house, packing up my mom's house, coming together in one house. And called again and said, hey, we have a change of address in addition to we don't want this policy. And they said, okay, no problem. Sign on to the portal to see what's needed. That was the first time we ever heard of a portal. Sure, sign on. I'm now listed as the beneficiary. Why would I be the beneficiary of my own life insurance policy? You can't take it with you. What am I going to do with it? And second of all, it says cancellation pending. I admit, we let the ball drop because we were just so over this process. But then my mom's like, hey, let's call again. See what's going on. We're now, I think, into like 2022. Call again. And they said, oh, so sorry, yeah. We need the death certificate. We've sent, what are we at, 2 by now? What's happening to my dad's death certificate? Where is it floating in the offices? Because we're mailing it. It's not getting scanned or emailed, uploaded. We're physically mailing this piece of paper. Where is it going to be misplaced? So we sent it again and included a letter going, these are the dates we've already sent it. We included the obituary for good measure. We're getting desperate. Never heard from them. And it's still pulling from my mom's bank account. And my mom was so frustrated, she just said, I don't want it. So we let it go. And in the meantime, we're still getting mail and ads and stuff from this insurance company addressed to my dad. I mean, luckily we're in an okay place where if we get junk mail with his name on it, we just toss it. But the audacity to still be sending stuff to him, I don't get it. After we have so meticulously and constantly alerted them to his death, they're still sending him mail. Now, fast forward to now. So now we're in 2024, going into 25. Somebody made a fraudulent charge to my mom's debit card. So we had to close her account and alert Auto Bill Pays that the old account, done. Here's the new account. So my mom goes, ooh, let's let Global know. We don't want them anymore. And so called and said, we want to cancel. And they said, okay, great. You're getting in just the nick of time. It's not going to pull. You're canceling it ahead of time. Fast forward, they somehow were able to withdraw funds from an empty bank account, the closed bank account that was having a fraudulent charge in it, which then caused an overdraft with my mom's bank. That's its own mystery with the bank. But they still attempted to pull this $10. Sorry, my phone just did something. They still attempted to pull the $10. Called again and said, what's going on? Because we want this canceled. We've received no information. It attempted to pull from a now defunct bank account. And they said, oh, the cancellation went through. There was just, some lapse in dates. But we have a refund check, a balance in an account to send you. But we need the death certificate. My mom was like, what do you mean you need the death certificate? You have a pile of death certificates, obituaries, and a letter. What's going on? And she's like, we have nothing on record of a death certificate. I'm so sorry. And my mom's like, he passed 5 years ago. And we have been working with you to prove it for 5 years. And she's like, I'm so sorry. And it's one of those, it's not your fault. I know it's a computer's fault or something, but what? So they mailed a letter explaining what they need in order to release funds, and we will mail in another death certificate. At this point, I'm ready to drive to the office, even if it's out of state, to hand deliver this. We're going to do return or receipt, whatever, because what's happening to these death certificates that they can't connect it back to the account? And we're submitting it with the paperwork they want submitted, and they want hard copies. What's going on? And then I looked, and apparently this insurance company is terrible with customer service, terrible with canceling policies, terrible with paying out policies. So misery loves company. It's not just us, but I mean, luckily it's only $10 a month, although $10 can make or break somebody, and it's a small policy, but still, what's going on? So If you want to know what's next with this drama, let me know once we get that letter in the mail so we can send this death certificate again and hopefully cancel this policy and get my mom her little refund check, whatever it is. Okay, I'm gonna lower my blood pressure and go do some dishes. Okay, thanks for listening. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you later. Bye.